Welcome back to another episode of Matt Wallace Productions. This one's going to be a little different. I'm alone today and I'm going to be doing a video on how to spearfish. I'm going to try to consolidate this into a short video. This is probably going to be a longer video, but I'm going to do my best, go through how I find a lake, how I set up the gear I use, what do I look for. Let's get right into it. So one thing I do when trying to find a lake is I will use the OnX Fish app. So one thing I like about this app is you can click on this lake and it pops up with this little menu. You can drag up, you can see the max depth, the average water clarity, which is super nice for spearing. So anything over 5 feet, that's good. And it also shows you trophy potential for all the species. So obviously northern pike, there's trophy potential, and the average length is 27 inches, which is pretty good. And then you can see a bunch of different info on each fish. It's a really cool app. It's fun to play around with. You can also see the boat launches, the public accesses. Yeah, it's a neat app. It's also got depth charts. Yeah, it's got a lot of good info. It's free for now. That probably will change in the near future. I like using that app. You can also pair that with the DNR website and DNR Lake Finder. So then you can look at the fish survey and you can see that that survey was in 23. And you can also see if you scroll down the northern pike and they have a chart. So those are the two apps I use to find lakes. I can go more in depth. I could probably make a whole video on what I do to look for lake, to look for spots. So first things first, I have this special phone case that has little clips on the bottom, and I just put a lanyard around my neck so that that doesn't fall in the hole. This dry bag is super nice for like camera gear, anything you don't want to get wet or lost, it's nice to throw in here. So one thing I can't stress enough is having a good pair of bibs and a jacket. I have the Cabela's brand guidewear bibs. They're super nice. And then next, a good pair of boots. These are waterproof boots. They're Cokers. They're super nice, and they have removable soles that you can get non-studded ones. These ones have studs or carbides in the bottom, which make conditions like today super nice. You can walk on glare ice and you're not going to slip around. Also, don't forget wool socks under your boots. That helps tremendously. Jacket on. So one thing I do before I venture out onto the lake is I will look for a dead big branch near the boat launch, and I will pick that up and I use that branch to mark the spear fishing hole when I'm done, so that nobody walks in it, no one rides over it, no one drives into it. So always mark your holes. We're gonna go get the snowmobile unloaded, we're gonna get the sled hooked up, and we are gonna go get on the ice. I got everything unloaded here. We're gonna throw the helmet on. We're gonna get everything hooked up. We're gonna rip out. I'm gonna put the big camera away though. Just got to this spot on the lake, and you do not need a snowmobile to do this. First thing I do is, right now I think it's about 6 feet right here where I'm sitting. So I'm gonna grab my auger, grab my depth finder, and pop a hole and verify the depth, verify I can see the bottom, and if I can, then I will set up here. Alright, this is the auger I like to use. It is a StrikeMaster 24 volt. I like this because the head is a lot lighter than the 48 volt. It's light, it's smaller, compact, it fits in my sled good. And I have a second backup battery. But this battery, I can drill enough holes to figure out where I want to set up, and I can drill my spear hole. I also have a magnetic base on here that just pops off. I like it, super nice. So let's pop our first hole. Next I got the Garmin Striker Plus 4. It's got GPS on it, and I got this little cover to help protect the screen when it's bouncing around in the sled. So I'll fire this baby up and we'll drop her down. Alright, 7 feet there. I will flush out the hole. I'll take a peek. Alright, so I see sand on the bottom and I also see weeds, so I like that. I'm gonna set up here. You can shut that down. We're done with that. It is super clear here, so normally I like to set up anywhere between 5 and I've speared in 15 feet of water, so it all depends on what you're comfortable with, what you're comfortable throwing a spear at. So now that I found out that I like this spot, I will try to orient my house to one, if I'm sitting up on a shelf, I will be sitting on the shallow side because the fish will come up from the deeper side. So I want to be across from where they're sitting because under me is kind of a blind spot. So I'm kind of on a shelf right here. So I want to sit on this side and look that way. So I'll put the long side of my hole this way and then come over. So we'll make this a corner, and I'll go 1, 2, 3. It's roughly 4 holes wide. Next, grab a shovel. So next we got to cut the hole. This is what I like to use. This is a folding ice saw. A lot of people use a chainsaw or can use a chainsaw. I like this because it's thin, cuts through ice, super nice. This is what I use to pull them out. They're ice picks. Facebook Marketplace for like 20 bucks. Just because there's no snow, we're gonna throw 4 stakes in each corner down. Highly recommend getting a cheap drill, and they make drill bits for these stakes. I like using these stakes more so peace of mind, being all alone with no snow and ice. I want the house staked. I don't think I even mentioned I'm fishing with an Otter Vortex Lodge. It's a fully insulated house, big enough for two or more people to spear out of, super comfortable, so I like it. It gets the job done. Alright, good enough for now. In here, that's a hard-sided rod case, which is perfect for the sled. So I'm gonna grab these 2 jig sticks. You don't need anything fancy. You could just use a wooden stick with a couple screws drilled into the side of it to hold the line on. You just need something to stick on top of the ceiling and hold the decoys straight down. So before I put any decoys down, I will undo my spear. I've had them where pike are just hanging around the area, and they come in within the first couple minutes of setting up. So I'll unwind my spear. And one thing about the spear is I like to have enough rope on it so it can go all the way to the bottom. because I've had it where the rope stops before the spear hits the bottom and the fish gets off of it. So I'll take the guard off, stick that under my seat, and don't forget to tie your rope on. One thing I like to do is keep my right side, because that's the hand I'm going to throw it. I'll keep the spear on the right side, and I'll keep the rope free of any obstacles. So I'll just tie the spear rope on my chair like so. Okay, I'll pull on it. Good. That's all I have to do. And then decoys. Now there's a ton of variations you can use. I like using these. I'm gonna put 2 realistic ones. So I got a bluegill swimmer decoy, and I also have a northern pike wobbler. So we're gonna start with those, and I like to keep those in like a little ammo box with like a towel in between them, just to keep them from roughing around. Alright, decoy number 1 going down. Decoy number 2 going down. Alright, now that I'm set up, now we wait. And so now that the decoys are dropped, now it's a waiting game. And this is similar to hunting. There's not much really you can do. Hope you're in a good spot. There's weeds here, there's bluegill here, a big school of bluegill down there. So the pike should be close by. You can swim the decoys. This one swims in a circle, and this one kind of wobbles when you jerk it pretty hard. You can swim them, try to attract the fish. I don't know, you can go crazy if you want, you can just slowly swim them. It all depends. Whatever you think is gonna attract the most fish. You can swim them once every 15 minutes just to show that they're lively. I don't know. You can also let them sit. They'll come in while they're sitting. A lot of different things work, and it depends on the lake. It depends on the pressure of the lake. I guess I didn't really talk much about my heater. That is a Dyna Glow heater, and I got 2 1-pound tanks on either side of it. I love it. I've had no issues with it. It's got low, medium, high. It's on medium right now because it is a little bit breezy and there's no snow out there, but Dyna Glow. It's like $100 on Amazon. The chairs I'm sitting in, they're an Eskimo brand. They're a little bit taller. I like them. They fold up super compact. I got 2 of them, so those are super nice. They fit well in the sled. I already talked about my hard-sided rod case. I love that. Keeps the rods nice and protected, and it's got foam inserts. Super nice. I like it. I don't even know where I got this or what brand it is, but it is a slush scoop. It's kind of big. I don't know. It's big but small. It gets the job done quickly. There was a lot of slush in the hole. I don't know. I think it's like $20 at Cabela's, Walmart, Shields. You can find them anywhere in the ice fishing section. Already talked about this. It's an ammo crate with a towel in it. It keeps my decoys, keeps them dry. It's keeps them protected when they're bouncing around this sled. It's hard. I like it. I also didn't talk much about my spear. This is an Amish spear. It's a 7-tine spear. I love it. It's got a nut with a rope on top of it. I did modify the rope. I don't know, this is like 20 feet of rope because the rope that came with it was too small, too short, so it would hit the bottom when I was spearing in like 15 feet of water. So I put a longer rope on it. I've had no issues with it. It's plenty sharp. I've killed a lot of fish on it. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. I just wanted to make that video. I'm sure I missed some things on how to spearfish, but let me know down below if you have any questions. Maybe I'll make a part 2. I'll try to respond to as many questions as possible. So yeah, comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions on the gear I use. I'm sure I missed some things, but I just wanted to get this out there and make this video because I do get asked a lot. How do you spearfish? What is spearfishing? Yeah, so that's gonna do it. That's gonna close up this video. We're gonna tear the house down, snowmobile off the lake, put the snowmobile back, put the sled back in the trailer, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Marker holes, ladies and gentlemen.